One real takeaway here from this briefing was the news that broke just before those two took the podium, that Amazon is now going to be displaying how much of an item's cost is derived from tariffs. We are seeing reports already. Prices are starting to go up in certain sectors, at certain stores, certain industries. Now, Amazon is going to show you, if you go to their website or their app and click, and I'm going to buy this, it will show you how much you're paying because of President Trump's tariffs. The press secretary deemed that a, quote, hostile and political act by Amazon. We know, of course, that Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, also owns the Washington Post and other interests, has really cozied up to Trump in these first 100 days. We'll see what happens there next. And we're going to hear from the president himself later on at this rally in Michigan to mark 100 days of his term.
All right, so Trump is not feeling the fact that Amazon is going to be displaying the increased price that's caused by the tariffs on their website. This makes no sense. Trump is proud of the tariffs. He's proud of what the tariffs are going to do. So why are you upset that businesses are going to display that to customers? That's their prerogative. How is that hostile? How is that divisive? I don't understand. When all of this tariff stuff started happening, right? Trump did Liberation Day on April 2nd. He increased the tariffs and took them away. And then he said it's just going to be China. And then we said we were going to put a 245-degree tariff on China. When all of this stuff was happening, I started to do the research. I wanted to understand what was going on. Even though I don't have a business, even though I don't import anything from China, it's going to affect me as a consumer. So I wanted to understand what was going on. I started watching videos on it, and I learned a lot. At that time, I came back and I said, okay, I understand where Trump is going. If he's saying that the intention is to manufacture in the U.S., then I kind of agree, because we manufacture so many things in China. I said that, so I posted a video initially denouncing the tariffs. I came back and said, hey, I understand a little more. And now I just don't understand where Trump is on the line of, like, do you want the tariffs or do you not want the tariffs? At the end of the day, Amazon and every other business is beholden to the customers and the shareholders. The shareholders, because they're the owners or part owners of that business, but the customers, because when you leave in 4 years, they still have to serve the customer. And they don't want to ruin that relationship with the customer that thinks they're just hiking prices out of nowhere. Things are coming from China. Things are being manufactured and imported from China, and they're costing the businesses that do business on Amazon more. And they want to be transparent about that. They want to say, hey, we're not just hiking prices up because we want to make a larger margin. We want to make more net profit. Could that be a consequence? Are there some businesses that are going to be able to do that? Absolutely. But these businesses that get their product from China for all these cheap rates that you were talking about, those businesses want to be transparent with their customer and say, hey, this is where the increased cost is coming from. I'm not just jacking prices up on you. The president put these tariffs on China. It's his decision. We can't do anything about it. We have to pass that cost on to consumers. Before Trump was elected, this was one of the talking points from the left. The left was saying, hey, the cost of tariffs gets passed on to the consumer. And Trump said, no, it's getting passed on to the company that the originating item is coming from. He said China would be paying the tariffs, just like he said Mexico would pay for and build the wall. That's what he said, but that's not what we're seeing. I watched so many people on YouTube say how their businesses are going under, or they're not going to be able to continue doing their business, or they're about to run out of supply because they manufacture the stuff in China, get it imported, and they can't afford the incoming shipments. I watched video after video after video. So the people that are able to get their stuff, or they already had stuff on the way, they're explaining to their customers what the situation is. But I want to know what Trump has to say in all of this. So let's go check out his comments and see if there's anything there that makes sense, any context that we're missing. Because as of right now, it sounds like he's throwing a hissy fit for having to be responsible for the consequences of the actions and decisions that he has made as the president.
Mr. Secretary, so it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China who is going to have to pay for these policies?
I will take this since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement. This is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American. It's another reason why we are onshoring critical supply chains here at home to shore up our own critical supply chain and boost our own manufacturing here.
Is Jeff Bezos still a Trump supporter?
Look, I will not speak to the president's relationships with Jeff Bezos, but I will tell you that this is certainly a hostile and political action by Amazon.
So I'm not trying to get too into politics, but Bezos was sitting behind Trump at the inauguration, as was Mark Zuckerberg, who's going through his troubles with Meta, and they're trying to break up Facebook and Instagram, as was Elon Musk, who's having all the troubles that he's having with his public perception. Like, everybody that aligned with Trump, that was sitting with him, that own all these major companies, are now having issues with him. They thought, oh, I have money. Trump loves money. If I just sit behind him, everything is going to go well for me. And that's not the case. Every billionaire that sat with Trump, well, at least the ones that we know, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, those guys have been having a terrible time after aligning themselves with Trump at his inauguration. But this is not political and this is not hostile. And Amazon is not the first company to add some sort of transparency in regards to the tariffs to their checkout strategy. Amazon is catering to their consumer, whether Trump likes it or not. This is not political. It's not hostile. It's just catering to the people that support the business and are the reason that you continue to make profit and revenue. And they're the reason that you have a business in the first place, right? You're explaining to those people what's going on as far as why the prices are increased. That's not hostile. It's not political. It's just business. But Trump doesn't understand that. He thinks anything that's against him is inherently political. It's woke. All of the stuff that he continuously says. But he can't deny the fact that Bezos was supporting him in his inauguration, sitting in close proximity, like within 6 feet of the guy, right behind him during the inauguration. This is not anything to do with politics. It's just something to do with business. What I will say is I'm glad they're adding this transparency. So the people that did vote for Trump that were saying, oh, China's going to pay, this country's going to pay, we're going to bring this external revenue service, those people can see the consequences of their decision. As an American, it doesn't really matter. Like, we're all here together now. We are where we are. The president has made the decisions that he's made. We're going to have to live with those. We don't get to directly affect what's going on in the day-to-day politics now, but there is some transparency from these companies. I think more people are going to do this to show that they're not just raising prices on their customer to screw them out of money. And I think more companies are going to end up doing this. We're going to see whatever backlash that Amazon has, if there's any fallout from this, because we know that Trump gets kind of vindictive when people are not playing the game the way he wants it to be played. So we'll see if there's like any backlash as far as Jeff Bezos and Amazon from this. But I think more companies are going to move to being more transparent. More companies are going to want to explain to their customer base that we're not just taking money out of your pockets. We understand the problems that you're going through. We understand the frustrations that you have, that you can't afford housing, you can't afford gas, you can't afford this or that. And us increasing the prices is not because we hate you. It's because in order for the seller, who also is a business owner, to sustain themselves as well, they have to increase the price. And we're just showing you that. We're just putting that at the checkout because you deserve to know. Those are my thoughts. If you like the video, subscribe to me back here for the next conversation. If you have something to say, let the world know. This is the place for discourse. Until next time. Peace.